Hello, welcome back to Ideals and Tips for Decorating Your Yard. I was thinking about starting first with the patio ideal. I started out with a little bit of clear area, well actually a lot of clear area. When you're putting down a patio, you would like to start from scratch. So if you have an ideal about putting down a patio, simple, affordable, here's one way to get started. You have to clear out the spot you want to do, whether you're going to go 8 by 8, 10 by 10, whatever your dimensions are. I went with a 10 by 14. What I did was, because I had dirt and gravel to begin with, for the most part all I had to do was form up and lay out the area. I used landscape timbers as my forms, and then I used 12-inch long rebar. I bought about a dozen or two of those, and then I took I got the 1/2-inch rebar, and I took a 1/2-inch wood drill bit and drilled through the landscape timbers. I went in 5 inches from each end and then one in the center, total of 3 per timber. Pounded that into the ground so that it wouldn't move. Then I went with a little bit of gravel fill, topped the rest off with sand with a little bit of gravel mix in there, the real fine pea gravel. Now, added tip when buying your sand or any of those type of mixes, as opposed to going to your local home improvement stores and paying for those individual bags, which will add up quite quickly. If you have a pickup truck, or if you have a friend or family member with one, you can go to a quarry or any of your bigger landscaping places where they sell it by the ton. That's the best place to go to, and you'll pay 30 bucks or slightly thereover per ton for that. You're going to get more of it at a much better price, and then once you get home you can just back your truck right up to the spot and then just rake it right in. I like to use a 2x4 and notch out 1 inch, because the size of the pavers I was using is 1 inch thick, and then have another person on the opposite side pulling it to where you level everything out all nice and neat. Then what you want to do is you want to lay your pavers down. You lay your pavers as straight as you can get them. They do have little tabs and things you can buy. You can go that route, or you can just eyeball it as you go. Either way is fine. The straighter you get it, of course, the nicer it's going to look. I like to leave one end open so that when I'm totally finished, then I'll seal in that final end. Once I have everything completed, then what I like to do is I like to take a clean broom, sweep everything off, and they have the sand joint mix that you can put in. Start at one corner, pour your little pile, and then sweep all the way down till you get to the opposite side, and keep going until you're totally done. Once you're totally done sweeping in that joint mix sand, then you're going to get up all excess. Make sure you sweep everything off of it nice and clean. Then you want to take your garden hose and put it on a nice mist spray, and you want to soak it up real good. Don't want to get carried away with it. You just want to wet it real nice without washing any of that mix out. After that, it's going to set up real nice for you. That's going to do two things. Number one, it's going to help block the weeds out, and second, it's going to be semi-permanent. If you ever need to pop one of those out, what's going to happen is you're going to be able to take it out quite easily by means of a chisel or either a screwdriver and a hammer. Just break the joint loose, the sand there, and then you'll use a scraper to get the rest of the sand off of the block, and you can reuse that same paper. That's the beauty of having that. When I was done, I also put a little bit of sealer on it. The sealer lasted only a year, probably because I bought an economy grade. Next time around I bought a better grade. But anyway, as you can see where that one leg is, it kind of dropped a little bit. That was after it had weathered 1 year. I put that in about 5 years ago, and as a result it came out nice, but it moved a little bit with the freeze and thaw process, and so it did what it's supposed to have done. It gave me a nice little sitting area. It looked good and it was functional. Worked out very well. I also decided to add a water feature, which I'll get into in my next video. But for the most part, you can see where my driveway there and yard is still pretty much unfinished. We'll get into that in other videos as well. But as you can see, for the most part, it's pretty well straight. Everything is lined up nice and even. Held up very well. I even drove my truck across that. That's how solid it was. Also, where the red area is, that became a sitting area to sit there to enjoy the water feature. As you can see, it held up pretty good. Then I added some decorations. I started out with this little well box here, and what I did with that was I used 1x6, and then I used the 2x2s as my little bracers for the corners, and I have a total of 4 per side, and I made 2 end panels. And what it is, those 1x6s, it's a total of 4 of those cut in 3-foot lengths. Put it together, then put the little roof on there, and I used the shims as a roof. Then I put green varnish on there, and it came out really nice. Once I was done with the varnish, I put a total of about 2 coats on there. First coat I put on, I let it sit overnight. Then the next day I put a second coat on. That's the unfinished look right there. And that's the finished look. That's the look with 2 coats. It held up well, nice decorating feature, and that's the way it looked after weathering for a bit. And you can see the rest of the patio blocks, how those held up pretty good. And my little patio cover there, I put that up every year. Nice little sitting area. Very affordable, but at the same time very nice. And as you can see, still the unfinished driveway, which is going to come up in the next video with the completed project. Then, because I was okay with that, but I wanted a little bit more, I came across a different ideal. I decided to go with what's called stamped concrete. Did some homework, shopped around a little bit. You got all these different community papers where you have legitimate contractors in there that have small crews, hungry for work, do excellent work, and if you catch one of those guys at the right time of the year, you can really get some nice work done at a reasonable rate. It's not going to be cheap, but it's going to be reasonable, and you want to stay away from cheap. If it's too good to be true, then chances are you have the wrong person. But point being is, do your homework, get some references, check out the work, make sure you're satisfied with whoever you pick. The guy I picked, small company, small crew, excellent work, and this is how it came out. 30 days later, I put a nice sealer on it, and it's still holding up very well. This time around, I spent a little money on the sealer. I didn't go with the cheap stuff like I did the first time, and so far it's holding up very well. Once you put that down, it will handle the weather, handles the traffic just nice. Don't really get a whole lot of traffic on it, just walking traffic. I don't drive across that, obviously, but it comes across real nice, pleasant area to sit there, and also it's not far from the water feature where I can sit there and enjoy the water feature as well. Then I went with some more decorating ideals. This was before I did the stamped concrete. This corner here where you see the barrel, at the time that before I started that, only thing that was in that corner was the barrel. So I put a little landscaping fabric down, put some plants in there, topped it off with mulch, trimmed it up with some nice stones there, and it held up for a while. It looked pretty nice, but I wanted to add something a little more. It just didn't really stand out to me. And as you can see there, my little decorations, those are all dollar store decorations. Very affordable, but very nice. Came out well. So what I did was I added a little extra feature in front of that. I went with some nice decorative stone, and that finished it off beautifully. As a result, it came out nice. And the little owls you see there, again, another nice feature, very affordable. Topped it off really nice. Hope you liked the video. We'll talk more about the water feature in the next video. Thanks for watching.